If you are a yoga teacher, a breathwork facilitator, a coach, a therapist, a psychedelic retreat facilitator, if you run retreats of any kind of form and you hit play on a Spotify playlist during your session, I have to tell you what you're doing is most likely illegal. I'm not telling you that to scare you. I'm telling you that as a musician who's stuck in the same broken system. So let's talk about it. First of all, Spotify's terms of service. Spotify is a service that is targeted for personal use only. If you want to use it professionally, you are violating their terms of service. So if you hit play in a paid session, you are violating it. I'm not here to judge you about that. No. And I also cannot help you with that. Yeah, it is what it is. I just wanted to put it out there. What I'm more concerned about are performing rights associations. In the US, you have ASCAP, BMI, and in the UK, you have PRS, and in Germany, you have GEMA. And I'm sure there are all around the world different ones of them. And the idea behind them is basically they collect royalties from everywhere, radio stations, venues, pubs, whatever, and then give it to the artists. The general idea is great. In practice, it's not working so well for small artists because you get paid by how big of an artist you are. I give you an example. I have my hairdressing salon. I pay $200 a year for the GEMA, and I don't give them playlists what I listen to. I just give them like this one-time fee every year, and they distribute it in terms of how big the artists are. And even if I'm listening to mostly smaller artists, they will not get this money. So the idea is good. The system is a little bit broken. And what I do with my shop, that I went to the association and said, I want to have background music in my shop and I pay every year for that. You also have to do that for your retreats because you're using music professionally. And that's a blind spot in our scene, like in the retreat scene. And I'm also creating retreats, and I know a lot of people who are doing that. So I know that nobody is doing that, or nobody is paying the association. And even though the risk is quite small because you're in a closed setting, nobody from outside does know what music, and if you are playing music, it might be that at one day, once someone who is working at these associations is coming to a retreat and seeing what's happening there. And then this might get problematic for a lot of people. I want to give you an example how serious they take this. 15 years ago, I went to a techno party. It was an outside illegal rave. And this was a party crew here from Munich. They were doing this quite often. They were promoting it on Facebook because it's not illegal to party outside. But what they did not do was tell it to the GEMA. And I think also they had a problem with like taxes from selling some drinks on there. And on this party in the morning at around 5 o'clock, over 100 policemen showed up and killed the party. And they were not there for the party people who might have consumed drugs and something. They were just there for the people who created the party because of the association and the tech stuff. So they're taking that really seriously. And what's also bad is that the musicians, which music you chose for a specific reason because it impacts your clients in a specific way and who you might love and appreciate, they will not get any money from what you're doing. They might get some pennies or even get nothing. I tell you my Spotify story. When I started on Spotify, I think in 2021, I got around $100 every year for like 2 years, which is not much, but it's not nothing. And then they changed the rules that if you do not have 1,000 streams over your whole catalog in the whole year, so every song has to be played at least 1,000 times, you will not get any money. And this does mean that I do not get any money anymore. And most of the musicians on Spotify do not get any money. And Spotify paid the industry around 11 billion last year. And most of it went to labels and distributors, and very little went to artists. And to make it worse, they started to get into podcasts more a few years ago. So the subscription fee that you pay gets divided into podcasts and musicians. So the musicians get less money. And to make it even worse, they started to flood their curated playlists with AI music. So they have to keep more of the royalties to themselves and less to pay out to artists. And when you think it cannot get more evil, Spotify says, hold my beer. And the former CEO of Spotify invested 700 million into an AI weapon company. That led to a few big artists like Massive Attack and DubFX leaving Spotify entirely behind. So with knowing all of that, why am I still on Spotify? Because you are there. You, the facilitators who create retreats, who I specifically make music for, you are on Spotify. You create playlists for your retreats. You share these playlists with your participants. I have to be on Spotify. Even if I see all the flaws in the system, if I am a small artist and I want to get to you, whom the music I make for, I have to be on Spotify. And I see the convenience in Spotify, how easy it is to create these playlists and to share them with your participants and so on. So I get that it's convenient, and I hope to make you a little bit more aware about the legality and the ethics behind using Spotify. And with some more awareness, maybe you will find a way out of there. I'm still also searching as a consumer on how to get out of Spotify. There are other streaming services like Cubase is paying artists a lot better, Tidal, Deezer, Apple Music, Amazon Music, and there are also playlist migrating tools. So it should be possible to get away from Spotify, but I'm also still in the process of doing that. And as an artist, I have to stay there as long as you stay there. There is a way out of that that royalties problem with the associations, with the performing rights associations. You can use royalty-free music for your professional use. Royalty-free music is especially made to use it professionally, and that not the GEMA or ASCAP or somebody else is collecting royalties. So you are free to use it, but normally you have to pay a license fee to use the music. And there we come to another problem. When you are creating a retreat over a few days, you might use 50 songs or something like that. Not every song of that is available as royalty-free music. And if you have to pay a license for every song, that's also quite something, because a license can cost up to 100 or even more, like dollars, euros, whatever. So having like 100 euros times 50 songs, that does not add up. The math does not work for holding a retreat with that. So I'm thinking about a new kind of license, and people who know this channel know that I'm building in public, so I'm thinking about stuff. I'm letting you take part of my thinking, and I'm trying to build something out of that. Most of my music is royalty-free, so most of the music you will find on the channel here is royalty-free, and you will find it on my website. I will link it below. You can listen to that. And I'm thinking about creating a license that when you purchase the song off of my website, like for $1 to $5, whatever the song costs, you will get a license for free that is granting you the license to use it on your retreat for free. So when anything happens, your back is covered by that. Yes, so that's the idea that I want to put out there. If you like the idea, let it known and be known in the comments, and yeah, let's discuss how we can go about that, because I want, as a musician, want to have your back in what you're doing, and I want you to be able to use my music to enhance your process that you're doing. And I don't want you to go bankrupt over this thing. And there must be a way that all of us can participate and flourish from what we are doing here. Yes, and I'm not the only artist out there who is providing licenses. So other people do that too. You can check out what they are doing also. I might be the only one with that idea right now. And I might be one of a few who is also a therapist. So my music has more of the therapeutic aspect in it, that I try to make my music more as a catalyst, not as an easy listening experience. So that's why it's sometimes used in psychedelic retreats, because it's demanding something from you to go through something. Yes, so that's what I'm putting out there. Yeah, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm navigating this myself, and as you can see, while I'm speaking, still thinking about this thing. And I think there must be a better way to, get the music into the healing spaces, get high intentional music into the healing spaces, and have everybody flourish with that. If you are a healer, let me know in the comments what you need. What do you need in terms of legality and support to make your work better? If you're a musician in that space, let me know how you navigate that. Also, please write it in the comments. I love to connect. We also have a small Discord server, so if you like to join the Discord for musicians, there we talk about this stuff, how to navigate that in the future. If you like to listen to my music, you can check out the YouTube channel here. You can look on my website that is linked below. And I see you in the next one.